Okay guys, so first is we're going to start with this part, which is the sole. So let's hide the other parts. So I have a shortcut here in my mouse. So if you want to isolate an object, you have to go to view, local view, and toggle local view. Okay, so you can also set your mouse a shortcut. Like you have two buttons on your left side of your mouse, you can set it to the first or any of those buttons so that it will easy for you to like toggle the view or isolate view. Okay, so every time I click something, then just click my mouse button here, it will isolate automatically. Okay, or you can just go to view, local view, and right click, and you can add it to your quick favorites, so that every time you click Q on your keyboard, you can just access the shortcuts here. Okay, so let's start topologizing this or clean this thing up. So actually I cleaned this one already, so what I'm just going to do is to like apply the subdivision. So let's say I'm gonna turn this into 0. So you can see the topology here. It's very low poly. So it doesn't matter because I'm just gonna like add a subdivision like that. So next is I'm gonna apply this. Hit apply. Then as you can see, we have created a mid poly object. So let's say I'm gonna delete this part. Let's go to edge mode. Let's just remain the let's remain this one. I want to make sure we're in this correct silhouette. I don't think I'm gonna delete it, so let's just add a subdivision for this one. So let's hit Control 1 so that we could get a smooth result like that, and we can apply it once again, and it's done. We have turned the low poly into a high poly subdivision, and we can still get the clean result like this one. So if we are selecting the edges, we can still achieve good results. And this one. Okay, so let's go back the isolate mode. We've finished the sole. Next part is we're going to retopologize this one as well. So let's select this and the sole as well, and we can now start retopologizing it. As you can see here, we have created a boolean. Sorry for the background noise. It's outside of my apartment because it's very hot right now, so I opened my window, so expect a little bit noise outside. There are vehicles passing by outside my apartment. So anyways, as you can see here, we have created a boolean modifier here, and we're going to apply this. Hit apply. Oops, I think it will not gonna work because we have a subdivision. So what we're going to do is to fix the low poly of this one first. So let's hit 0 on this one. So let's fix the, I think we smoothed this. So right click, shade flat, okay. So there's some things to fix over here, like this one. Oops, I accidentally hit 1. Go to edit mode. Let's fix this. I'm gonna turn on snapping. Make sure that they're aligned like that. Okay. Next, I think we have created this form good enough. So let's hit another viewport like that. Okay. So there's a lot to be fixed on this part and this part as well. So what we're going to do is to like retopologize everything so that we can also achieve the correct form and the placings of the holes of this one. So what we're going to do is to use the retopologizing technique by, hold on, I'm gonna move this thing first backwards, by using the plane and use the snapping tool here, and we will turn on the snapping face. Just create everything here until we create a mesh. So let's start creating that. What we're going to do first is to add a plane. Shift A, go to mesh and plane. Shift A, mesh, plane. Sorry, I added a plane into the wrong collection folder. Okay, anyways, so let's rotate this into 90 degrees, R and X, by holding control so that you could snap the rotation. Oh, sorry for the noise. And we need to set our snapping mode to face over here and turn on snapping mode. Let's scale this thing down. That, make sure it's aligned. I'm gonna move it here to the, I'm gonna turn off the snapping mode first. I think we need to add another face here. So it's kind of optional for you guys if you want to turn on snapping mode or not, but in this case I think I'm gonna turn on and turn off the snapping. Well, it depends, but for now I'm turning it off so that I could just extrude anytime and just manually adjust the faces. So let's extrude this once again. Go to vertex mode and make sure that they're aligned to this. I'm gonna extrude it once again. So the process is kind of repetitive, so I think I'm gonna do a time lapse for this one. So once I finish creating the mesh over here, the face, because I'm just going to trace this one. There's nothing much. What I'm basically doing is just add a plane, just then follow along the shape here. So I'm gonna start working on the time lapse right now. Hey guys, so as you can see, we are almost finished with our mesh. So I want you to do is to make sure that our mesh, it's like outside here, so it's not like inside over here, because once we are start to solidify this, it will like add a extrusion to the inside or the outside, but it's better to like add the solidify or extrusion towards inside so that we'll not like ruin the silhouette of our shoes. Okay, so let me show you an example so for what I meant. So let's bring this thing back, and this one, let's make sure. So let's align this thing first. Oops, let's go to edit mode. Let's align. I want to make sure that they're attaching to the sole of our shoe. The parts are attaching that so that we could mainly just focus on the outsides, then just add a solidify. Hold on. Okay, anyways, so let's say we have finished creating our second base layer here. So what I want you to do is to add a solidify modifier here. So let's click this and go to add modifier, generate, and go to solidify. Then we will add thickness to the inside like that. As you can see, we have added thickness, right? Because if we add, if we edited this one to the inside from inside, then if we're gonna add thickness to the outside, we'll be having a hard time to like adjusting again to make this thing attach to the sole. So it's better to like edit everything outside, than just add some thickness to the inside. Okay, so it's quite kind of confusing the way I explain, but I hope you might understand by showing what I meant like this. So it's easy for you to like just edit outside, then add some thickness to inside. Okay, so we don't need this thing first, but I'm just showing you why I'm doing this, or why I'm creating mesh from outside. So let's remove this. Okay guys, next is we're going to add a hole like this one for our mesh over here. So first we're going to add a cylinder. Shift A, go to mesh and click cylinder. Now we're gonna set this into 6 over here. I'm gonna type 6 sides, and we're gonna rotate this while holding control. I'm gonna make sure that we are facing like this. So let's scale it down like that, and we're going to align it to this one. Let's rotate once again, and rotate it to the y-axis while holding control. Okay, then we're going to move this over here. Alt Z, and scale it down. I want to make sure that we are aligning it like that. So this is the hole I'm going to show you. As you can see here, this is the hole, and I want to scale it like the edges will kind of very close enough to the circle over here, like the edges of this one. So we're going to do the same thing over here. Shift D, and let's move it here, and let's extend this one to the x-axis so that we can create a hole. Alt Z once again. Let's bring this thing back over here. Okay, next is we're going to add a booleans. First we're gonna join them. Shift select both of these and Control J to join. Now they're one, and now let's add a boolean to this one. Click this, add modifier, generate, and boolean. Now let's select this so it will create a hole, and we can now start hiding this, clicking H. Now since we have created a hole, we can now start applying. Hit apply. Now we're done. Now our next task is to clean this up. I want to create a clean topology of this one and delete the unnecessary vertices or edges. So I'm going to show you how I clean this thing up. So first I'm going to delete this. Where's the dissolve vertices? That. And I'm going to attach this one here. So I want to make sure that outer merge vertices is turned on. Then let's turn on our snapping to vertex mode. Oops. Turn our snapping to vertex mode. That. And let's align this over here. Make sure that if they're not merged automatically, we can just manually merge them by clicking Alt Z, select them, and hit M, and by distance. Now they're merged. Sorry, they're not merged yet. Hold on. M, move it here. Merge by distance. Now they're merged. Okay. Going back, we're gonna move this thing over here. It's gonna merge them again by distance. Whoops, they're not merged. Okay, we have. Okay, I'm gonna move this. They're merged again. This one as well. We're gonna delete this. We're gonna connect this part. So I'm gonna click spacebar. Go to knife tool. Okay. This one as well. Gonna connect them here. So actually we can rotate this so that we could create a clean topology. So let's go back to our move tool. I'm gonna rotate this like that. I'm basically eyeballing everything here. I'm not using any snapping or what. Okay, now we have created a clean topology over here, our edge flows. We can start attaching them again using the knife tool. Okay. Next is we're going to create another edge loop here. So that we could create a polygon. Next is another edge loop here. I think we need to fix this one as well. Edge loop here. We don't need this edge, so let's bring back our move tool. Go to edge mode. I think we need to attach this one here. So let's move this thing over there. Move it there, then we can start deleting this. Solve edges. Okay. Going back is we're gonna bring back our knife tool. Put it here. And this one, we're going to connect this one here. And this one here. Go back to our move tool. Now we have finished creating our mesh here. But as you can see, it doesn't look good. We can just manually fix them. Just literally eyeballing everything, because you know this is a shoe which is very organic, so it doesn't have to be perfect, especially with the lines or the the polygons. It doesn't have to be straight or what, because this is just a fabric, something like that. Okay, so let's try adding subdivision. So Control 1. As you can see, I think we have created a circle, but it needs to be fixed in this part. We need to add support loops over here. So let's bring back. So we're going to add support loops by adding another edge flow here. So we're manually gonna add them. So let's bring back our knife tool. Put it here like that. Okay. So this is what we call support edge loops. Then we're gonna bring back to move tool, go to edge mode, Control R. And let's add, I think I'm gonna add edge loops individually. First, let me turn off our snapping mode, Shift Tab. Let's another one here, Control R. And here as well, Control R. And let's try once again, Control 1. I think we have created clean topology here, but we have problem here. As you can see, we have created a hard edge. So this is basically because of our topology here. It has to be clean, like it's not localized. So we need to fix this one as well. So let's bring back our subdivision. So basically our topology has to connect over here, the edges, only the edges, but instead we are creating an edge flow over here only. so it doesn't look good. So we need to fix these kind of stuff. So I'm gonna undo everything, that, delete this. So this is how we like solve problems or give solution when we try to model. This is why important of sub-D modeling, because once you add subdivision, you can see a lot of problems or issues on your model. So that's why sub-D modeling technique is very important in terms of modeling. Okay, so what we're going to do is to create a clean edge flow here. So what I'm going to do is add another edge flow by using the knife tool. So let's connect these over here and here. I want to make sure that they're connected like that. Next is, let's try adding subdivision. As you can see, we kind of clean this thing a bit. Let's bring back, and we can start fixing using move tool. Over here. And we also created some weird, they're not the same. Like this part and the upper part is connecting here, and this part is not even connecting here. So we need to fix this one as well. I need to delete this whole edges. Oops. Sorry for the noise, guys. Let's connect this one here. Turn on the snapping mode. Okay, now we can start deleting this. Instead, we're gonna create another line here. Okay, move tool. I'm gonna connect this one over here. You can start deleting this whole edges. And we can rotate this one because it doesn't look good. Let's merge this. That. I'm gonna move this thing. Oops, only this one. Okay. What else? Let's try subdividing it. Okay, so we found vertices that aren't connected. You can see it here like that. They're not connected, so let's merge them by distance. Okay, Control 1 once again. Oop. Why is it still not connected? Merge by distance. Let's increase this to 5. We have some issues here. Why is it they're not connected? Like they're already close enough. So let's increase this to 1. Let's see if this thing's still not connected. Okay, they're connected already. We're gonna do the same thing here, over here. M by distance and Control 1. Okay. I think we have created correctly, because the hard edges aren't visible anymore over here compared to previously. But we can actually connect them here, then over here as well, so that the edge flow will like flow on top, right? Okay, so I think we can start connecting them by adding another knife here. Let's see if this thing will work. Then like delete them here. Delete the edges. Solve edges.